In the shadow of Egypt's towering pyramids, a desperate mother tucked her newborn son into a woven basket, her hands trembling as she sealed its edges with pitch. Pharaoh's decree hung heavy. Every Hebrew boy was to be thrown into the Nile. Soldiers scoured the land, their swords glinting with cruel intent. But this mother, a daughter of Israel, trusted the river's current to carry her baby to safety. The basket bobbed along the Nile's muddy waters, cradled by reeds, until it caught the eye of Pharaoh's daughter. She waded in, her heart stirred by the child's cries. "This must be one of the Hebrew babies," she whispered, yet her voice held no malice, only wonder. She named him Moses, drawn from the water, and raised him in the palace, a prince of Egypt. But Moses' heart was torn. He walked marble halls, yet his blood sang of a people enslaved, their cries echoing beyond the Nile's banks. He was a man of two worlds, belonging fully to neither. Moses grew, his eyes open to the chains binding his people. One day, rage boiled over. He saw an Egyptian guard lash a Hebrew slave, the whip cracking like thunder. In a flash, Moses struck the guard down, his fist stained with blood and justice. But the act wasn't hidden. Whispers spread, and Pharaoh's wrath hunted him. Moses fled, a fugitive under a blistering sun, into the desert's vast silence. Years passed in Midian's dust, where Moses herded sheep and wrestled with his past. One day, a strange fire flickered on a mountain, a bush ablaze, yet unconsumed. Moses approached, barefoot on holy ground, as a voice shook the air. "I am the God of your fathers. I have seen my people suffering. Go, Moses. Led them out of Egypt." His heart pounded, fear and awe colliding. He was no hero, just a shepherd with a stutter. Yet God's call was undeniable, a flame kindled in his soul. Moses returned to Egypt, staff in hand, his brother Aaron at his side. He stood before Pharaoh, a king draped in gold, and spoke God's command, "Let my people go." Pharaoh's laugh was cold, his heart harder than the granite of his monuments. "Who is this God?" he sneered. God answered with plagues. The Nile turned to blood, fish rotting in its crimson flow. Frogs swarmed, lice crawled, and darkness smothered the land. Each plague was a cry from heaven, yet Pharaoh's pride held firm. Moses, weary but resolute, prepared the Israelites for the final blow. "Paint your doorposts with lamb's blood," he told them. "Death is coming, but it will pass over you." The people obeyed, their faith trembling in the night. At midnight, Egypt wailed. From the palace to the slums, the firstborn fell, every home struck, except those marked by blood. Pharaoh, broken at last, summoned Moses. "Go," he roared, his voice raw with grief. The Israelites fled, 600,000 strong, their sandals slapping the earth, carrying unleavened bread and hope. But Pharaoh's heart twisted again. His chariots thundered after them, a storm of spears and rage. The Israelites, free for a moment, marched into the wilderness, only to find themselves cornered. The Red Sea loomed ahead, its waves a wall of despair. Pharaoh's army closed in, hoofbeats shaking the ground. The people cried out, fear choking their faith. "Why did you bring us here to die?" they shouted at Moses. But he stood tall, his eyes fixed on the impossible. "Do not be afraid," he said. "The Lord will fight for you." Raising his staff, he stretched his hand over the sea. A wind howled, fierce and holy. The waters parted, towering walls of liquid glass, revealing dry ground. The Israelites walked through, hearts racing, the sea's roar their only music. Pharaoh's army charged after, chariots gleaming with vengeance. But as the last Israelite stepped onto the far shore, Moses raised his staff again. The sea collapsed, swallowing horses, riders, and pride in a torrent of divine justice. Not one soldier survived. On the shore, Miriam, Moses' sister, lifted a tambourine. The women danced, their voices rising in a song of deliverance. "Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously." Freedom had come, hard-won and holy, a new chapter written in the sand.